In Japan's southernmost prefecture of Okinawa, you can find some stunning islands here. It can be difficult to choose which one to go to, but we decided on Ishigaki. This island is closer to Taiwan than it is to mainland Japan and has various islands nearby that you can visit for a day trip. I would recommend renting a car to get around as the city is far from some attractions and public transport is limited. Plus, the subtropical climate means it can get pretty hot, so it's nice to not have to walk too much. We made our first stop to KABIRA Bay, which is well known for its gorgeous clear water. You can't swim here, but you can get tickets for a glass-bottom boat tour, which costs a little over 1,000 yen for one adult. Whilst we waited for the next boat, I got some Blue Seal ice cream, which is a special Okinawan brand which do many unique flavours. We chose Okinawa taro cheesecake and Okinawa pineapple coconut. It was delicious, but melted super quick in the heat. I was so amazed by the white sand and blue water, as I had never seen anywhere like it before. We got on the next available boat and jetted off into the bay. I wasn't expecting to see much besides some coral and a few fishes, but we ended up seeing that along with sea turtles. It was cool to see different tropical fishes, and we got to see some clownfish, which most Japanese kids simply call Nemo. After this, we got a little snack in this area of local Okinawan donuts. As they were freshly fried, they were warm and had a crispy coating whilst being soft inside. I tried some store-bought ones as well, and they were nowhere near as good as the fresh ones. We then drove off to our next stop to go for a swim. YONEHARA Beach is a great place for this, as you can also rent snorkeling equipment here, without paying for a tour. It is a popular spot to try snorkeling without the need of a tour guide, as there are coral reefs and fishes close to the shore in the shallow water. You still need to be careful though, as some of the fishes can get aggressive if they feel threatened, and I did get attacked by one, which left a tiny cut. But it was worth it to see marine life up close and a new experience for me. The next morning, we went to the supermarket to get breakfast. I think it's always fun to see what different things they sell in different places. I wanted to try the local dish called onisasa, which is essentially a rice ball and some fried chicken squished together. Probably not the healthiest breakfast, but simply delicious. We had heard about a blue cave that is popular and we hoped to explore before the tide got too high, but it was difficult to find, and by the time we got there, the tide was already too high to reach the cave without swimming. And we had bought all our stuff, which in hindsight probably wasn't the best idea. But it was still nice to have a private beach to ourselves, and I managed to walk out to a cave, but not the cave. We walked back and got a nice cold smoothie by the car park, as it was very humid today. After this, we drove to this pottery exhibition called YONEKOYAKI Craft Center, which has all these colourful and unusual pieces of art. I was not prepared at all for the size of this exhibition. It is a massive garden surrounded by mountains and filled with massive statues, and really quite impressive considering it is completely free to visit. The fun art in the scenery was really unique, and afterwards you can go in the little shop to buy a miniature version of the art as a souvenir. These ceramics depict a modern version of the mythological Okinawan animal called a shisa, derived from the Chinese guardian lions. They come in pairs where one has a closed mouth to keep in good spirits and the other has an open one to scare off evil spirits. We bought a set, and I also got this special teacup. It works as a normal teacup if you're not greedy, but if you fill it up too much, all the water will drain from the bottom. a reminder that if you try to take too much, you might lose everything. We then looked for some lunch and came across this cafe selling Okinawa soba. This is quite different from normal soba, which is usually made with buckwheat noodles. They are instead made with wheat noodles and often topped with pork belly or ribs. It was delicious and a must-try in Okinawa. For dessert, we found this ice cream truck which is parked outside someone's farm. You have to wave over to them and they drive over in a little van to serve you. The food and drinks are made with milk from her cow, a very interesting concept indeed. We then drove to the northernmost point of the island where there is a little lighthouse overlooking some more lovely views. Before returning our car, we also had to stop at the Don Quixote on the island because I love seeing all the random things they sell. There was so much Orion and Spam merchandise. In the evening, we went to this izakaya for dinner where there was traditional Okinawan music being performed. It was a fun and interactive experience, but I didn't really understand what was going on, as my Japanese is not that good. Here we tried some more local cuisine such as these sea grapes and goya champuru, which is bitter melon and eggs. It is a kind of acquired taste. The next day, we rowed a boat over to Taketomi Island, which only takes 15 minutes. I had a spam and egg rice ball for breakfast. The weather was a bit gloomy and it was predicted to rain, but we somehow managed to avoid it on this little island. The water was still a gorgeous turquoise despite the grey clouds above. We rented bikes to get around this island, which I'd highly recommend. Although it's a small island, it would still take a long time to explore it by foot. The island is built up of traditional red roof houses and farms. There were so many butterflies and flowers, and it felt really peaceful. I was amazed again by how clear and beautiful the water was here, even more so than on Ishigaki Island. The island has lots of beautiful beaches you can relax in, and we visited a couple of them. KAIJI Beach is a famous one as it is known to have star-shaped sand, a natural wonder here. They are tiny, so it can be a little tricky to find them, but if you can't, you can always buy some as a souvenir. As well as the star sand, there is a lot of wonderful nature on this island, and it was a lot of fun to explore. We went into one of the traditional houses that had been turned into a cafe and had some pizza for lunch, which was delicious. The owner previously lived in Tokyo but has now lived on the island for many years, and I can see the appeal of it after living in such a busy city with an intense work culture. After returning our bikes, I marvelled at the water a bit more whilst we waited for our ferry back. On our last full day in Ishigaki, the weather was bad, and so we changed our plans and decided to just explore some local shops. Food-wise, it was a rather meat-heavy day. Ishigaki has its own high-regarded fatty Wagyu beef. For lunch, we went to a burger place called Heartland for their Ishigaki beef burgers, which were so good. And then for dinner, we had a reservation at a yakiniku place called Maru and splurged out a bit on their course set menu, which allows you to try various cuts of beef. The decor here was pretty interesting, and they even had beef cushions. And then the morning before our flight, I had the final bit of local cuisine at this cute beach cafe. This is taco rice, which is a unique take on Tex-Mex and was a pretty healthy meal. This was such a fun trip, and it was so interesting to visit a vastly different part of Japan. The culture is so unique and the nature is so wonderful, and the people are more laid back, so it felt very different to the mainland. I can't wait to come back and visit some of the other islands too.